appropriate for all ages, right here on the house that Kamurai built. It's time for the Vlogcast. And I am Kamurai. It's been brought to my attention that my audio, at least, is quiet. Maybe it's not on all the settings, but I'm going to try to make an effort to be loud enough and not too quiet while I'm talking, which usually isn't the problem. I usually am afraid of shouting at the camera instead of talking too quietly, but maybe it's just when I pulled the audio. I'll have to go back and watch some video to compare and check my settings on OBS, because each profile is a different audio setting. I am back. I am multi-streaming this week on the Vlogcast here on Meerkat, Periscope, YouNow, Fire Talk, Ustream, and of course youtube.com/htkb. It's a wonderfully funny thing, and of course this goes up on SoundCloud and Podbean afterwards. I'll transfer over the nonsense on the video, which is nonsense, to Adobe Premiere or Vegas or whatever, and I'll rip the audio out. Jeez. I don't know what's going on the Twitters. But I'll rip that and I'll put that out there just so that's me talking about it. So I've also, if you're watching the video, you'll notice that, and I'll try to point at the right things, I've edited this thing. I left this part the same. I brought back We Are Movie Club on the YouTube template down here. I left this alone, but I added the audio stuff above, or mixed in with Instagram and Twitter. If you want to yell at me for whatever reason, at Kamurai 25 on the Twitters. It's where I'm at, so come at me. Come at me, bro. Or sis, whatever you happen to be. I'm a pretty accepting person. My judgments or evaluations are on your actions as a person and not what you happen to be. Or what you choose in life. This is Rooster. He's a ginger kitty. So I guess that means he doesn't have a soul? I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. They don't give you a pamphlet. Oh, kitty! Kitty ran away. Okay. And hello, people. I'm Meerkat. I apologize if I'm not able to read your actual messages, but I can see that someone is saying, "What's up?" So, hello. Salutations. I gotta get back to doing that. I don't know if you guys follow Ruby, because I don't know who's listening to this, but you should definitely check it out. It's in its 3rd season, and there's a character named Penny that is wonderful, and the way she greets people is she starts with salutations, and she does it so cheery and upbeat, and there's some wonderfully touching moments with her character throughout the show, and she's definitely one of my favorites. I would say, like, it's really a toss-up between her and Nora, and then I really do like... It just happens to be all the redheads. I didn't do it on purpose. But I actually do happen to like... I told myself I wouldn't forget her name. The Polarity Girl. I do like her as well. I want to say there's like another... Oh, no. My absolute... I take that back. My absolute favorite is actually one of the villains. It's actually the what's her name? I call her Chimera because she's got the 2 different eye colors. And if you know anything about like cats, if a cat has 2 different eye colors, it means it's actually a mixture of 2 different animals for whatever reason. So they're special little creatures, and so that's what I call her. I know she actually has a name, and I can look it up, but like part of me loves the relationship I have with her as Chimera. So that's what I'm sticking to. And I don't. She doesn't talk. Maybe she says like one thing, but she uses what is essentially magic, and I get it. Weiss uses the equivalent of magic, but it's just a thing. And I'm getting into series and stuff, but Ruby's not current. It's not something I can talk about over on Jam on Toast. So I don't know. Like, I feel conflicted because I can talk about Ruby anytime. I would love to talk about Ruby. It would be a really great thing, but we're not doing series. Well, not, I take it back. If we were to do a whole season as a movie, I would be fine with that, because it probably wraps up, as long as it wraps up within 2 hours, or under 3, I would be fine with it, because Watchmen is 3, and we have been discussing doing that for Weird Movie Club, and it might be the next one, if you follow that at all. We had some trouble. Man, let me tell you about theaters. Fuck that industry. By all means, support your local theaters if you enjoy those things. Like, I enjoyed watching Deadpool, but I much would have rather done it at home. If I could have paid to bought it at home, if I could buy it right now, digitally, I would. That's a fact. I would have watched it 200 times by now, just on the background while I'm watching other stuff, just to have a little bit of silly, happy shit in the background. I went I got a wild hair up my ass because we didn't make the deadline for Hail Caesar, because I messed up on Saturday, is why I didn't, and then she just didn't do it on Tuesday, and life got away from us, because we didn't do it when we planned on doing it, and it's embarrassing, but to do things that you don't plan on doing off your schedule of doing things is not easy, especially when you're like me and you're very like, hey, I like a schedule. I like knowing 3 weeks from now what I'm going to do. That's just me. Not everyone's like that. I get that. I totally get that. But it's just what it is. It's nothing personal or anything. It's just, that's what I like to do. I don't like the idea of waiting the last second and then deciding whether I'm going to actually do what I said I was going to do, and or letting people down. It's just not me. That said, insomnia and everything I'm trying to get done in the time I'm trying to get done is not my friend towards that, so it stresses me out and it makes it worse. It makes my insomnia worse because I'm stressed out about keeping to a schedule that I want to keep, and then I'm further unable to do it, and it gets worse and worse. When I figure out a solution, I am sure to let you know right here on the Vlogcast, because let's be honest, if I find that out, I'm spreading that news wide and far, and oh me, oh my, I wish there were more solutions to problems that we have, or ways to not create the problems in the first place that are easily accessible. I don't want them like up in your face every day, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you don't do this, and this helps prevent this. Of course, like, I'm strange like that. I would have a wild cacophony of things that I would cut out. I would love to have lived a life where I never tasted chocolate. That would have been a wonderful boon. To never want chocolate would have been fantastic. Knowing that, like, I was lactose, like, my entire life, would have been wonderful. Never having eaten cake would have been wonderful. Let's just agree dairy products aren't food. Fuck cheese. I'm sorry, but like, cheese isn't food anymore, and I don't appreciate it. I'd really like if people stop frying things, but I know these aren't going to happen. This is just wishful thinking. It's similar, but not quite like complaining. Like, of course, I'm saying that I don't like these things, but I'm offering the alternative. I'm offering the solution. Even if the solution isn't actionable, I think that's quite alright. It's quite good to dream, and it's good to share your dreams. And honestly, it's good to share your complaints and get them off your chest, 'cause you can't just let that shit eat you up either. So it's good to share. And for someone to come in here, I'm sure it'll happen. It's happened before. It'll happen again. Come in here, tell me I'm stupid, I suck, I'm not good at whatever. I don't care. Your opinion means very little to me. There's very few situations where people's opinion of me matters to me. It's usually very much like, are we going to continue doing whatever we're going to do? No? Then I'm going to go do something else. And that applies to important things and non-important things, etc. I'm not really bothered by it. The only time that, like, I really are overwhelmed with that compulsion is when my brain's telling me that girl will make nice babies. And that is the clearest, shortest, most concise way I can express that instinct. It's not even like a feeling and emotion. It's not like, oh, I want to live long and forever with you. It's make babies, and I don't like it. I wish I could get rid of that. I mean, it'd be very nice if that entire instinct was much more what's the word, recreational in nature than imperative. But that's what it is. It's how do you say it? I don't know. I don't know how you say it. But it's just life. It's what life does to you. Speaking of life, I don't even know what I did this week. Okay, I got caught up. Tabletop Simulator has been the bane of my existence. I'm starting to be scared that I can't actually fix my problem, or I don't know how to fix my problem. It's not that I can't; it's that I can't see the solution yet. I've been trying to get my Super Dungeon Explorer Tabletop Simulator to run on other people's systems. I can do it on mine as I load it bit by bit in a manner that the computer can handle, but I've got great internet and I've got a pretty decent computer. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's a lot better than what most people are working with. Some people are trying to run like laptops and things, and yeah. But it's causing other people's systems to crash. I'm getting warning messages in the game console or Tabletop Simulator chat, as it were, that I'm using over 2.8 gigabytes, and it's really confusing because I'm like, well, how am I doing that? And it's got to be the file sizes that it's downloading. It's trying to manage those files. So I've been working through a couple processes to reduce that, and I found one of them is called BIRME, BIRME, and that's a batch resizing tool that's web-based. So I threw my non-deck pictures in there for the project to reduce the file size, or the not the file size, but the picture size. And then I actually ran it through JPEG Mini to actually reduce the file size and not the picture size. So especially for like my tokens, I definitely have some very small images now. I mean, we're all down in. I actually pull it up. It's open in the background somewhere. Oh, those decks. Deck builder 4/4. Let's see. So everything looks like it's under 400 KB. Oh nope. Some of the boards are a little higher. But those are boards. I think that's okay. Why is that one still 1,000? Oh, I'm looking at the original size. Hold on. I look at the JPEG Mini size. Yeah, like that same board is 121 kilobytes. The quality's probably not as good, but who cares? But I've got file sizes down as little as 3 kilobytes. My biggest one looks like 178. Yeah, and I'm real happy about that. So when I readjust those to the server and the mod re-downloads everything, it should be stable. I didn't go in individually like I thought I was going to. It's because I did bulk. I didn't have the opportunity to futz with the actual picture images because I was going to try to clean them up a little bit, and so I'll do that for another day. I'd much rather, if I can get this done, I'd much rather do the Ninja All-Stars one so I could start playing with that online or have other people play with it, etc., whatever. And then I need to go back to either working on Gamebox or putting my board game projects onto Tabletop Simulator. And I may do that anyways, just for playtesting purposes, and then I'll do Gamebox on my own, because it probably won't take as long. The one that'll take a while, because I got to figure out how to do it, is Monster Office Workplace, because I have to figure out how to do like L-shaped boards, boards of different shapes than just square. But I'm sure that won't be too big an issue. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's see. So we're talking about movies. Talk about not games themselves, but project design life. And like I've worked a surprising amount on different projects for that. Whether I made time here or there. I got actually a lot of spreadsheet work done for Kingdoms, which is the digital board game. As much as I think it would be actionable to try to push out a version of Truth or Terminal, which are just virtual environments that do different ones for spaceships and ones for zombies. But the mechanics in which you interact with the world are what makes it interesting. I think it would be actionable to push those things out, but I don't know. I think doing the board game stuff first and getting it out of the way will give me enough of a boost or actionable product to try to get other people on board, because I'm very quickly coming up on having, oh god, I forgot I had to do this soon, trying to draw art, even if it's really crappy art, for a proof of concept. Unfortunately, I've got to get the art done. So when I get the art done, I'm going to get more serious about finding voice people. But I've got to get, you know what, I'm going to break down. I'm going to ask my actor friends if it's rude to ask. I feel, you know, I'm getting like anxiety right now thinking about, because like I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to come off as using them. I was like, hey, I just need a female voice. Would you like to read a page of dialogue? Because I can do guy voice, but like oh, sounds like this, and like if I don't want to sound like a baby prostitute, I don't know, because my voice just doesn't do that. Like I can force it there, but then it sounds all distorted and weird. Or I could probably do with like a Scarlett Johansson type thing, where it's like deep and husky. It's like, hello, Mr. Big, how are you today? Or I could do it like Madge. But I don't know. I don't know how much like a guile this sounds. I mean, it could be, or it could just be Mr. Jimmy from down the road. You don't know. You just don't know these days. Could be a 6-foot man in high heels. Makes him like 6'4". I can do a voice or two, but it is very hard to morph my voice girly, and it would be just much easier, especially for this, if I can just get someone to read a page into a phone and be like, okay, got it. So it doesn't have to be good audio. It just has to be enough audio so that I can prove, like, hey, this is a thing. I can make it look interesting and do it. And so, of course, the idea has four major components, now that I think about it. I've got to be able to create virtual sets. And whether I do it in, like, Unity or Minecraft is what it is. Or if I can find someone to do that much art, it seems easier to do it in like Minecraft and put like a realistic asset thing on it. You know what? I've got to look into that, for being honest, because I don't know if there's one that exists for all the mods I want to use, or for the mod. Actually, it's only one mod now that I think about it. Bibliocraft. But then the art's the biggest one for me, and then even if I just start reading the voices like all squeaky like, then I can do the audio. Like in the end, like I can do all this on my own, but fuck, would it be better if you have some help? And if anyone here knows, not like a hotline, I don't need like, are you feeling bad about yourself, Mr. Kamurai? I don't need that sort of help. I need project help. And I've looked at collaboration sites, and they're very weird. I essentially want like an Internet One ad, and then I think, oh, that's Craigslist, and then I don't want Craigslist. Though it maybe wouldn't hurt to put out a post. I don't know. That's, you know what? That's what I need to ask my acty friends, is if how they get roles, how they find roles, how they find people looking for roles, other than just like, oh, this guy that I'm banging, that's banging this girl, that's banging this guy, knows a guy who knows a girl that's doing a thing, and his dog is directing, and like that sort of thing, like, is weird to me. Like, it's like this interconnection web of things that isn't the internet, no thank you. I would say that more to be funny than anything else, but like I'm not opposed to it. It's just not in my wheelhouse. If I can ever like create that, then I'm going to. I very much am someone who believes in a system as opposed to like all that independent whatnot. Well, so things like Meetup would be great, and it would be wonderful if I had like what the $70 for. I don't think it's a month, but I think it's like a quarter, whatever it is, to just do that. And be like, hey, this is what this meetup's for, to get people together who need things and stuff. So, like, you essentially like make a mini convention on a weekly to monthly basis, and like that's actually a really interesting idea. Is like a creative space meetup. Like you do like a big one monthly, and then you can do like weekly heartbeats or whatever for the 3 weeks in between. And what I would do is probably like you do like a big one. You do like a weekly checkup heartbeats or whatever. Then you do like a semi big one. And then you do like maybe like a low-key administrative one, and then you do like your big monthly at the beginning of the month, and then like for situations that actually end up with like 5 of whatever day you're using, like maybe you do some like special event or whatever. In fact, you could probably very easily turn some of that into playtesting. Like you do like a big meet new people one monthly, and then you do like, hey, you guys met up last week. Here's a playtesting for whatever you're doing, and I think what I want is more about providing a space. It's kind of like YouTube's doing, like YouTube Space. That would be really good. I don't know where you would do that per se. But I think it's an interesting idea. And of course, if I ever win the lottery and I hire a couple people, then maybe we'll do that. It's fun to try this sometime. Like, everyone should have a zombie plan, everyone should have a lottery plan. But instead of like even if like that's what you would really do no matter what, imagine what you would do, like how you would hire your friends. If you were like, hey, I'd like to pay you to do a thing. Imagine what role that would be. And hopefully too many of them don't end up in maids' outfits of personal servants. I think I have one friend, call her that I wouldn't mind her being a PA of sorts, but it wouldn't be a PA like I would want a PA. She would essentially be a convention manager where my life's the convention. And I don't think it would be a full-time job. It would just be like, hey, I need these things coordinated. And if I had an actual PA, like those two would probably work hand in hand on occasions. And if I had a real PA, what I would want a real PA for, before anyone takes it the wrong way, is just helping schedule, because I think it's a big thing. And then just little tasks where I can't be 2 people. Be like, hey, jump on this. Hey, jump on that. And then like that may or may not be full time. I think it would depend how well the application of it went, because I don't know how I would feel about having somebody around full time. I don't know if I'd like doing that to somebody. It seems like a very odd thing to me to keep make anyone be around me for extended periods of time, and I definitely wouldn't have them be like, well, it would depend. Like, there's definitely an appeal to having like a 24-hour PA being like, hey, we're like, your job is to live your life with me, and we're gonna do some cool things. But I don't know. It's such an intriguing concept, and I would love the means to sit down and actually like plan that out and be like, hey, what would it be to do this? But more than likely, what you do in that situation is you have like an overturning string of college students trying to make their way through college and picking things up. Um, but I think that would probably be like an insistence of mine is that I would actually want someone who has decided not to go to college but to teach themselves and is trying to provide for themselves while they do that. I think that would be written in the stipulation, like a furthering of betterment clause, if you will. And if that sounds like a weird and awkward thing, I am the guy who saw the Sheldon Cooper roommate agreement and went, "That's a good idea," and wrote one. And I've had one before, but no, that one went okay. We didn't need one, but we wrote one just to try to like have the talk of like how we feel about living together and everything, and it was just a good guideline. And then past that, people are douchebags, so having a contract doesn't mean anything if they don't have any honor. So, um, it is. Sorry, it's just so funny who pops up where. Oh, okay, that's what's happening. Um, I don't know. I just whoa. How do I have 8 notifications? Fuck me. Um, I don't. I don't know. Like, I don't have time to watch all the streams and stuff that I would like to watch. They're all during times that I need to do things because it's when they're available to do things, and just fuck me. Um, sometimes I'll throw one on when I can, but like I've got to do things up, and that's been a thing for catching up on television because there's these shows that I missed, and I'm finding new ones like on a weekly basis, and then I'm remembering ones that I promised I'd go back and watch. Like I remembered Switched at Birth and Pretty Little Liars. I love those two shows. They're really good shows, and they're on ABC Family. And I've been made fun of for watching ABC Family for, and I don't give a shit. I like what I like, and that's what it is. So that's what I watch. But I'll talk about it more in Jam on Toast. But like I found Second Chance as actually a really intriguing concept. Being Human, no, Almost Human. I always get them mixed up. The one with the guy from the newer Judge Dredd. And eventually I won't be able to say that because eventually they'll remake that movie again, and I'll be screwed on that reference. So I'm gonna have to start remembering the guy's name because he's a really good actor, but he gets flack for uh, supposedly playing it stiff, and I don't see that at all. Carl Urban. And it's Almost Human. I was right. It is not Being Human. Being Human is a completely different show, but it's one where he's like an android, and he's a android cop. He's almost like he's a RoboCop, but he's not RoboCop. He's partnered with a human, so it's like iRobot, but instead of his partner running away from him all the time, like it's his actual partner. Um, that would be such a great show, and we almost have that with from time to time with Lucifer and Castle. It's like where you're partners, and it's like, okay, see you later, bye. It's constantly one detective or whatever chasing after the other detective while trying to solve the crime, and then the other detective is like bounces back and forth between being really lucky on stumbling onto clues and getting himself into trouble. So it's really like nanny. Oh my god! But like we follow the nanny cop and not the trouble cop. So there's always he's off getting into some kind of weird trouble, and and realistically they probably shoot those scenes as well. But in order to keeping the time down and keeping it full of content, I would much rather follow the straight man and then have it be from his perspective or his or her perspective, where the other one's constantly getting them into trouble, and it's just like, now I got to deal with this. Oh my god. And maybe even have them like taking antacids all the time or something. I would, you know what? Yeah, like Bernie Burns from the Rooster Teeth tour thing as the straight cop. And then, oh my god, who's a good like getting into trouble character? It's like I didn't know they were gonna shoot back. Just that sort of trouble causer, that would be great. This is Tux's butt. Why do you stand there like that? You know, like, I'm not happy about you being up here while I'm filming, but then you just stand in weird places, and you don't get where I can pet you, and you just kill the kitty. Tux and I have an agreement where I have to threaten his life daily. Typically, it's to make him into a hat. But we hit our mark. If you enjoyed me talking about things and stuff today, I'm going to be on a little bit later to talk about Hail Caesar. Because of complications, we weren't able to do it yesterday, and I'm going to end up doing it on my own over on youtube.com/wearemovieclub. If you like talking about movies and things and stuff, and you manage to get to the end of this video / audio, tweet at us at wearemovieclub and join in on the thing. Suggest movies that we should watch and things and stuff. We will take recommendations. We'll take them with a grain of salt, but we will take them. Let's see. Kat, you were right where I need to be. So, this has been me, my life, and stuff. Until you see me next time, I am Kamurai. Have a nice day. That's the second time that's happened. Just click. If you like what you heard today, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.